Have you ever met a woman who seems perfect until she suddenly pulls away, leaving you confused, questioning yourself, and wondering what you did wrong? I want you to pause and feel that weight for a moment. That feeling of being ignored, emotionally distant, or left in limbo, it's gut-wrenching. And here's the truth most men never hear. It's not about you. Not really. It's about her emotional availability, or the lack of it. Understanding this is like being handed a map in a maze where most men stumble blindly, losing themselves, their confidence, and their sense of worth. Emotional availability isn't about how often she texts you or how many times she laughs at your jokes. It's deeper. It's how present she is in her own life and, crucially, in a connection with you. A woman who is emotionally available can handle intimacy, trust, and vulnerability without guilt or fear. She doesn't vanish when things get real. She doesn't play games to test you, manipulate your feelings, or keep you guessing like a riddle that never ends. Yet, so many men overlook subtle warning signs because they're blinded by attraction or hope. Here's the first key to noticing it: consistency. Pay attention, not just to the moments she's charming, attentive, or warm, but also to the moments she's absent, distant, or defensive. Emotional availability is steady. It isn't selective or conditional. She shows up when she says she will. She communicates clearly, even about hard things. She respects your time, your emotions, and your boundaries. Next, observe her past patterns without judgment. History isn't just baggage. It's a mirror. A woman who has repeatedly left partners emotionally stranded often carries unresolved trauma or fears of intimacy. This doesn't make her bad, but it does make her unavailable. Recognizing this early isn't cruel, it's clarity. It protects your energy, your heart, and your future. Finally, feel your own emotional response. Your gut is louder than any charm or sweet words. If you constantly feel anxious, confused, or second-guessing yourself around her, that's your subconscious signaling a misalignment. Men who ignore this warning usually end up in emotional debt, investing far more than they receive, and losing not just time, but self-respect. Pause. Let that sink in. Emotional availability isn't a guessing game. It's a truth you can see, feel, and measure. And the sooner you recognize it, the sooner you reclaim control over your emotional life and dating journey. Now let's dive deeper into the subtle signals most men miss. The quiet, almost invisible ways a woman reveals whether she's truly emotionally available. These aren't loud or dramatic. They're hidden in her words, her tone, her actions. And if you overlook them, you'll keep spinning in the same exhausting cycle of hope, confusion, and disappointment. Start with how she handles vulnerability. A woman who is emotionally available doesn't just listen, she shares. She doesn't deflect or shut down when the conversation turns heavy. She doesn't instantly joke, criticize, or withdraw when you reveal your fears or past hurts. Instead, she acknowledges, empathizes, and responds with clarity. If her empathy feels conditional, only when convenient, only when it makes her look good, you're already on the wrong side of emotional availability. Next, notice how she manages conflict. Emotionally available, women don't fear disagreements. They engage. They don't go silent, give the cold shoulder, or punish you for expressing yourself. Instead, they work to understand, explain, and negotiate, even if it's uncomfortable. Repeated avoidance or manipulation is a red flag. She may be protecting herself, but in doing so, she leaves you stranded, battling confusion that chips away at your confidence over time. Also, observe her consistency with her words and actions. Do her promises align with reality, or does she habitually overpromise and underdeliver? Emotional availability is grounded in reliability. It doesn't vanish when life gets hard or when emotions feel inconvenient. This doesn't mean perfection, but it does mean alignment. A woman whose words and actions rarely match is signaling something crucial. She's unavailable. Then there's how she responds to your emotional needs, not in the grand gestures, but the small ones. Does she notice when you're off, offer support without being asked, or intuitively tune into your state? Or do you feel you must constantly pull, probe, or chase her attention? If it's the latter, it's a clear sign of misalignment. Emotional unavailability thrives in distance, creating dependency, confusion, and emotional fatigue. Finally, pay attention to the rhythm of her presence. Emotional availability isn't just about depth, it's about stability. If she appears intensely warm for a while, then disappears without explanation, that cycle of hot and cold isn't chemistry, it's emotional inconsistency. And the cost of ignoring this pattern isn't just heartbreak, it's a slow erosion of your self-esteem, your clarity, and your ability to trust your own judgment. Notice these signs, feel them in your gut, and honor your own response. Your intuition is sharper than any advice, charm, or fantasy. It's whispering the truth about her, long before your mind dares to admit it. Let's talk about the mindset that separates men who endlessly chase unavailable women from those who attract women who are genuinely present. Most men think emotional availability is something you fix in her, that if you just try harder, text more, compliment better, or prove your worth, she'll open up. That's a trap. The truth is, emotional availability can't be manufactured. It can only be recognized, honored, or walked away from. Trying to change her is like trying to squeeze water from a stone. It wastes your energy, erodes your confidence, and leaves you questioning your own value. Here's what you need to understand. Emotionally available women are drawn to men who have their own emotional clarity, who know what they want, who they are, and how they respond to emotional signals. If you're constantly begging for attention, reassurance, or validation, you're signaling scarcity. Scarcity repels emotional availability. Stability, self-respect, and presence attract it. The irony is brutal. Men spend years pursuing women who cannot give them what they want, while emotionally available, women quietly pass by, drawn to men who value themselves first. Another crucial point. Your standards are your shield. It's not arrogance to require emotional presence, it's self-preservation. Stop tolerating unpredictability disguised as mystery or passion. Stop excusing evasiveness as she's complicated. Complexity isn't a weakness. It's only a problem if it leaves you stranded, confused, and emotionally drained. Men who understand this build boundaries without guilt, and these boundaries act like a magnet. Emotional availability responds to clarity. Ambiguity repels it. Now, feel this. Every moment you invest in someone emotionally unavailable is a moment you're not investing in yourself or a woman who can actually meet you in partnership, empathy, and depth. That's the harsh truth. The moment you internalize it, your dating life stops being a series of chaotic reactions and becomes a series of intentional choices. Every interaction becomes a signal. She's either emotionally present or she's not. There's no in between. And that clarity, it's liberating. It frees you from endless guessing, from sleepless nights over text replies, from wondering if you're enough. Finally, understand the power of your presence. Men who cultivate their emotional health, who feel their own feelings fully and don't hide from them, radiate a frequency that emotional availability cannot resist. It's subtle, but undeniable. Women who are present, mature, and emotionally intelligent sense it instantly. They respond naturally, authentically, and without games. Your mission is simple, yet profound. Recognize emotional unavailability, protect your energy, and align with those who can truly meet you. That is how you stop wasting time and start building a connection that actually matters. Now, it's time to expose the subtle behaviors that most men ignore, the hidden patterns that betray emotional unavailability long before heartbreak arrives. These are quiet, almost invisible, yet they leave a mark on your mind, your confidence, and your heart. Recognizing them early isn't paranoia, it's self-defense. First, pay attention to how she talks about her past. Emotional availability doesn't mean she's had a perfect life. It means she's processed it. A woman who constantly dwells on past betrayals, brushes off responsibility, or paints every ex as the problem is signaling unfinished emotional business. She carries ghosts that will shadow any connection with you. Men often dismiss this as she's just being honest, or everyone has baggage, but honesty without accountability is a red flag. Next, notice her responsiveness, not just in texts, but in emotional engagement. Does she show up when you need her, or only when it's convenient? Does she vanish for hours or even days without explanation? That erratic rhythm is more than inconsistency. It's a reflection of her emotional bandwidth. She's not unavailable because she's busy. She's unavailable because she cannot reliably meet someone else's emotional needs while managing her own. That's a hard truth, but spotting it early saves years of frustration. Observe how she reacts under pressure. Emotional availability isn't about being easy or agreeable. It's about managing stress without punishing others. Does she lash out, withdraw, or manipulate when things get difficult? Or does she communicate, negotiate, and stay present? Emotional unavailability often reveals itself in conflict, avoidance, deflection, or silent treatment. Men tolerate this, rationalizing it as, she's complicated, but complexity isn't worth the cost if it leaves you emotionally stranded. Then, watch her boundaries, or lack thereof. Emotional availability respects limits, both hers and yours. She doesn't blur lines, manipulate, or play with attachment. If you feel confused about where you stand, or find yourself constantly testing her reactions, that's a sign she's not fully present. Emotional unavailability thrives in ambiguity. It feeds on the tension of uncertainty. Finally, trust the pattern, not the exception. A single warm day doesn't erase weeks of distance. A text full of affection doesn't cancel out repeated emotional absence. Emotional availability is steady, predictable, and aligned. Anything else is a warning, not an opportunity. Recognizing these behaviors isn't about judgment. It's about awareness. It's about protecting your heart, valuing your time, and understanding that love, when real, doesn't feel like a constant battle. The sooner you see these signs, the sooner you stop investing in uncertainty and start investing in someone who can truly show up for you. Now that you understand the warning signs, it's time to talk about what you do with this knowledge, because insight without action is wasted energy. Most men see these patterns, feel the unease, but continue chasing, hoping she'll change or open up. That hope is expensive. It costs your confidence, your peace of mind, and eventually, your sense of self. The real power comes from using awareness to guide your actions, not your anxiety. Start by strengthening your own emotional boundaries. Decide what you will tolerate and what you won't. Not as a punishment, not to play games, but as a reflection of your value. When a woman's behavior crosses those boundaries, you step back, not angrily, not out of spite, but intentionally, with calm clarity. This isn't rejection, it's self-respect. And paradoxically, self-respect is magnetic. Women who are emotionally available respond to it naturally, without you having to chase, explain, or justify yourself. Next, learn to detach from outcomes while remaining present. Emotional availability cannot be forced. You can't reason with absence, argue with inconsistency, or negotiate intimacy where it doesn't exist. Detachment doesn't mean coldness. It means clarity. It allows you to engage fully when it's real and withdraw gracefully when it's not. You create space for emotional availability to find you, instead of exhausting yourself on someone who cannot give it. Also, prioritize alignment over desire. Desire is powerful, It pulls you towards someone who excites you. But alignment is deeper. It ensures your heart isn't trapped in chaos. Ask yourself, does her presence make me feel safe, understood, and respected? Or am I constantly anxious, guessing, and hoping? Desire without alignment is a recipe for frustration. Alignment with an emotionally present woman feels effortless, grounding, and mutually enriching. Finally, cultivate patience. The right connections are never rushed. Emotional availability develops from self-awareness, healing, and trust. You cannot force it, and you cannot fake it. But when you approach dating with discernment, self-respect, and emotional clarity, you stop wasting time on uncertainty and start attracting women who can actually meet you, heart to heart. Remember, this is not about winning her over. It's about winning yourself over, your standards, your boundaries, your worth. Once you master this, the right woman will recognize your presence without manipulation, hesitation, or confusion. She will show up consistently, authentically, and fully, and you'll know, because your intuition will stop whispering and start confirming. Now take a deep breath and let this sink in. Emotional availability isn't about luck, charm, or how hard you try. It's about truth. The truth of who she is, the truth of who you are, and the alignment between the two. Too many men spend years chasing illusions, confusing intensity with intimacy, passion with presence, and hope with certainty. But real connection, deep, lasting, nourishing connection, only comes when both hearts are willing and capable of showing up. Think about how it feels when you're around someone emotionally present. There's no guessing, no tension, no anxiety gnawing at the edges of your mind. You feel seen, heard, understood. Your energy flows naturally because there is mutual respect, genuine curiosity, and emotional steadiness. That's the standard, not the exception. And recognizing it isn't arrogance, it's survival. Protecting your emotional energy is the highest form of self-respect you can practice, and it sets the tone for every relationship you will ever have. And here's something few men realize. Emotional unavailability doesn't just affect dating. It leaks into your self-esteem, your confidence, your ability to trust yourself and others. Every missed signal you ignore, every hope you cling to, slowly erodes your inner authority. But once you become attuned, once you read the signs clearly and act with self-respect, you reclaim your power. You stop living on the emotional treadmill of uncertainty. You begin to attract, not chase. You begin to choose, not settle. So ask yourself this, in your interactions with women, are you investing in presence or chasing absence? Are you validating scarcity or honoring consistency? Because the answer isn't just in her behavior, it's in your response. Your clarity, your boundaries, your discernment are the ultimate tools for navigating this world of dating, relationships, and emotional connection. Here's something for you to do right now. I want you to solve this equation for yourself. Emotional energy invested, emotional return received. Wow. Think about it carefully. Drop your answer in the comments, because the truth you discover there might shock you, but it will also guide your next steps. If this video opened your eyes, hit like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who desperately needs to hear this. Because awareness is power, and power is only meaningful when it's shared. Don't wait for heartbreak to teach you what clarity, boundaries, and emotional alignment can. Take control now, and let this be the turning point in how you connect, love, and thrive.